Hey there, it's your boy Foxy, back for more relationship stories. My wife cheated on me. We're going through the divorce process and live in the same house. She is gaslighting the hell out of me. I feel like staying under the same roof is horrible for my mental health. Plus update. Original post. As the title suggests, my wife cheated on me multiple times throughout the course of the last few months. I had a sneaking suspicion pretty much immediately when the affair started. However, she was so convincing when I talked with her. I was never vindictive or overly confrontational when I brought it up, but man, when I did, she'd flip the script on me like I'm some kind of bad guy for trying to discuss our relationship and questioning her integrity. Anyways, I found out. She was constantly on her phone, and one night I did what I had to do and read her text messages. I confronted her the next morning about the affair, and she lied. I confronted her again, this time telling her I have seen her text messages, and she lied again. Finally, I had to literally recite some of the messages I read, and she just fell silent. Her response to all of this was not to apologize, but instead she told me if it didn't push her to that point, she never would have done it. I know I'm an anonymous stranger on the internet, but guys, when I tell you I have never in my life done anything to my wife that would make her cheat, I'm not kidding. I've never been physical with her, never yelled at her, never really done anything that would make me question my own integrity. Truly, I'm not perfect, but I honestly have been a good husband to her. Well now, living with her has been hell. She is telling anyone and everyone we know that I have emotionally mistreated her. Even after finding out I have never been mean, yelled, etc. I've told her I'm heartbroken and we're definitely getting a divorce, but honestly, that's where it starts and ends. Every little word that comes out of my mouth, she twists like I'm some kind of bad guy. She claims I'm gaslighting her, which is crazy because she is gaslighting me. She's always mean and confrontational when I see her, and honestly, I don't really say anything because I just know it'll be taken the wrong way or twisted in a way I didn't intend, and she'll start an argument. What do I do? Why is she being so horrible? Shouldn't I be the one mad at her? Honestly, I just want to coast out this divorce process and move on, but she is so overly combative it's making a cordial divorce very, very difficult. At first, her gaslighting was getting to me. I was questioning myself hard, but I've had some time to step back and think rationally, and what she is claiming simply is not true. Someone help a brother out because I'm struggling. Now for the top advice before reading the update. Hey OP, feel free to take a look at my post history. I feel some similarities in my experience versus yours. Ignore her, do the 180 or gray rock. It drives people like your soon-to-be ex nuts. Don't give her any emotional fuel to work off of, and just treat her like a ghost. Get a reputable family law attorney and go from there. Good luck. I will certainly check it out. Appreciate you. Learn the value of gray rock and the 180 methods. Return her level of energy, but have other coping mechanisms when she's not around. Find ways to release emotional energy while not around her. Don't waste any more energy in a conversation with her. Start planning how and when you can move. Remove all mutual friends that don't support you from your life. Focus fresh and with healthier people. Just Googled gray rocking, and that was super helpful, thank you. I have definitely inadvertently been practicing some of these methods in response to this, but this gives me something to be mindful about. I don't think my wife is a full-on psychopath or anything, but understanding how I can disengage from confrontation in someone who is looking for it is helpful. Make sure you make a summary list with evidence and ask your lawyer if you can send it out to people that y'all know. Make sure you expose her contradictions and the deceptions that you can disprove in this list too. No one wants to be the villain in their own story. So that she can live with herself, she needs to make you the villain. Don't let her do this. Expose her to everyone. Don't let her be the official historian on your marital story. This is true. Gonna sound a little crazy, but to some capacity, I feel like me continuing to be cordial and mature about this is what's getting her so combative. My reaction isn't quite aligning with her story, and that is causing her to lash out at me. If what I just said is true, that's her burden to bear. I don't want to be aggressive or vindictive and make whatever weird version of reality she has true. Now for the first update. The amount of advice and support I've gotten from you all is mind-blowing. To anyone that contributed, I truly mean this, thank you. It's been a day since I posted. I implemented the gray rock method immediately following this post, and it is working. It's driving her crazy and in return keeping me grounded. This post has saved my sanity, thank you all so much. Second update. Been 3 weeks since my original post, so I figured I'd post an update. Long story short, my wife had an affair and was really making me feel horrible about myself. Turning her friends against me like I'm a monster and genuinely just being a really uncharacteristically awful human being. If you're going through the divorce process, or your spouse cheated on you and is making you feel bad about it, I feel like I have some solid stuff to share. My soon-to-be ex and I are well on our way through the divorce process now. I didn't kick the can too much on the divorce, didn't second-guess myself, kept the course, and because of that I'm almost free. My soon-to-be ex has done and said some extremely crazy, illogical, and hurtful things along the way. At this point, every word she says further seals this divorce and solidifies my decision. I've been told I made her cheat. I've been told I mistreated her, which I definitely did not. I've been gaslighted on multiple occasions during our settlement that the morally right thing to do is size. And the list goes on. Sometimes I wonder if she's even living on planet Earth with how she's thinking about things. This divorce has opened my eyes quite a bit, and I'm realizing I was a little bit of a sucker. I love with my whole heart, and because of that, I've allowed her to manipulate my emotions along the way, question myself, etc. I fell into an empathy trap, and what I mean by that is I empathized with her even when the things she thought or said made no sense. I unintentionally fueled completely irrational thoughts. The script has been flipped entirely. She doesn't even know how to interact with me when she can no longer manipulate me. Thank you to all of your wonderful people who recommended Grey Rock, and because of that, the only thing she can do is get mad, explode, and so on. Essentially, go into an unprovoked rage. If I snapped one day and called her every name in the book, it would be the equivalent of resuscitating her. It would give her relief, not make her feel worse, which is twisted in every way, but I know it's the truth. Anyways, I haven't given her an inch. Not a single inch. I'm not mean, I'm not aggressive, I'm not vindictive, I'm none of those things, and never have been. I'm confident, I'm grounded, and I'm thinking rationally and logically. Not letting my heart take the wheel, not slipping up or losing my cool, and certainly not letting her manipulate me any further. She's still in her cheater's fog. She still feels justified for her decisions. I have not, and doubt I ever will receive an apology. Not from her anyhow. Her family has apologized profusely, which is appreciated, but doesn't necessarily cover up the hurt I experienced. I will admit in this moment, the hurt I see in her family far outweighs the hurt I feel for losing my wife. They're good people. It is unfortunate the apple fell far, far from the tree. In a few short weeks I'm a free man. Not sure when the fog will be lifted for her, but I do have sympathy for her to a capacity. There will be a day she wakes up. A day where reality and real life catches up with her. Don't know if that's a few months, a year, or half a lifetime, but it will come. There will be a day she is sitting in her apartment or home, alone, and the burning fling she had will begin to die out. I empathize with her because the pain she will feel in that moment will be exactly what I felt. Absolutely crushed. Physically sick to my stomach and an emotional mess. Truly, I was a phenomenal husband. It is now and always has been my personality to be a chipper smiling face for her, jovial, and a rock-solid shoulder to lean on. Reliable, loyal, and loving would all be understatements, and she will grow to recognize that she hit the lotto on her first go-round and nuked the marriage to pieces with what she'll one day recall as the biggest mistake of her life. A fling, an exciting affair, etc. cannot and never will be able to replace a lifetime partner who understands and willingly accepts genuine commitment. She will one day learn and understand that. I've put in my time, I've experienced the hurt, I've reflected on myself, our marriage, and what led us to this point. I sought professional counsel to make sure I was giving myself the opportunity to decompress my thoughts and emotions. I've read literature. I've critically analyzed myself and my behavior to try and pinpoint exactly what it was that led her to do what she did. Fact is, nothing I did led her to cheat. Nothing. I wasn't perfect, nobody is, but I loved her. I would work and make sacrifices for her, and the fact of the matter is that wasn't a two-way street. The lies, the manipulation, all of the wild things she says she truly may believe, but they're not coming from a place of rationality. She gave up on a marriage that I was putting 100% effort into, and had an affair on someone that would have gone to the moon and back for her. It destroyed my confidence, not going to lie, but in these moments of absolute emotional agony and adversity, it will make me a better man on the other side. Guys, seriously. If you're unhappy in a marriage, communicate. Do not cheat. And if you do cheat, own it. Look internally, don't further hurt those people around you and blame them. Hundreds of hours of ruminating, thinking about myself, blaming myself, etc., all could have been prevented by a simple phrase from my soon-to-be ex. Hey, I'm sorry, I messed up. I don't know if anyone here needs to hear this, but if you're currently playing the blame game, down on your dauber, feeling like you took a hit to your confidence and so on, stop. Reflecting on yourself is powerful, and I think critique is good to a capacity, but you don't drive someone to an affair. You cannot accept blame for another individual's character flaw, period. If things are messed up, you've tried counseling, gone down every avenue to correct things, etc., a divorce is the appropriate next step, not a secret affair. I'll leave you with this. My soon-to-be ex looked me directly in the eyes and said with 100% confidence, "I'm not the type of person to have an affair. That's not who I am." You led me to that point. If you've ever heard that phrase before or hear it in the future, package it up in a pretty box, make sure it's nice and sealed, and shove it right where the sun doesn't shine. That doesn't even make sense. I'd love to rob a bank and tell the officers I'm not the type of person to rob a bank, and the government made me do it, but I'm a rational adult, and that's now how it works. Thanks for reading and allowing me to share my thoughts, and thank you for all of the advice on my original post. This sub has been monumental in my sanity for the past 3 weeks. Save yourself. Get out of there, fast. You got that right. I'm on the fast track out of this one. I've come to realize that I'm sadder that I'm about to be a divorced man than the woman I am losing in the divorce. It's not my character to throw in the towel, but not wanting to be a quitter is not a valid reason to stay with someone who has already quit on you. It was good to read your story. I'm sorry you've gone through this. I was really able to relate. My ex cheated many times, and apparently I drove him to it. It's laughable, I know. I can laugh now. More than your main post, this comment resonates. I was ashamed to leave, picturing comments about another failed relationship. I wanted traditional, just one long-term monogamous relationship. If you ever need to chat to someone who's been through it, it's okay to message me. I'm not the type of person to have an affair. That's not who I am. You led me to that point. Well, I just wrote, deleted, and repeat for a few minutes, and all of the cognitive dissonance. Believe me when I tell you, there is no frame of mind I could possibly put myself in to understand how one could not only say that statement, but believe it. This is going to sound overly sarcastic, but I'm genuinely not kidding. I could have a more rational discussion with a 7-year-old child than an adult that makes that statement and believes it. I heard something really cool today, the narcissist's prayer. Ever heard of that? That didn't happen. If it did, it wasn't that bad. If it was, it wasn't a big deal. And if it is, that's not my fault. And if it was, I didn't meant it. And if I did, then you deserved it. Haha, I can say with 100% confidence I have not heard that before, but let me tell you, that sums it up pretty well. I genuinely never recognized narcissistic tendencies in her behavior prior to this. Not sure if it's because I brought out the best in her and those tendencies are just now surfacing, or if I overlooked them, but they're certainly front and center now. I love goofy sayings like this, so thanks for sharing. Last story. I found my girlfriend in bed with her ex last night. I'm broken. I, 28 male, found my girlfriend 25 female in bed with her ex last night. I'm broken. I'm not sure if I'm looking for advice or just ranting. I work 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. on work days. She works nights till midnight. She recently wrecked her car, so she has been getting rides. I told her to call me if she ever needed one. Hers is the only number that will ring on my phone at night. Anyway, last night she gets off at midnight and tells me some girl named Amanda is taking her home. I wake up at 1 a.m. and see these texts. I say alright and wish her a good night. She does the same. After that, I woke up and I could not sleep. I stayed awake to 3 a.m. with just some general insomnia. So I call out of work and decide to drive to her and surprise her with cuddles and snacks. I get there and her ex-boyfriend's truck is there. And they are in bed together. She came to the door, and I said goodbye and left. Guys, I had closed my heart off for 12 years since I was 16. My high school sweetheart broke my heart, and I just pushed every potential girlfriend away after that. 12 years later this happens after I opened to her. She made me so happy it was almost weird. I am absolutely crushed. She said she just needed a ride and he was sleepy and whatnot, but I know better. My heart physically hurts. I can't eat, can't sleep, can't stop puking. I'm broken. Just please anyone help or tell me what to do to make it stop. Now for the advice. I'm just really sorry that this happened to you. Thank you. I just am not sure what life is gonna have for me after this. I feel like I'll never recover and there'd be no point in trying. I tried to stay strong in front of her, but I am literally shattered. You will recover, we all do. I was married when it happened to me, not an ex of hers but a future ex of hers. It will get better, it's just another speed bump life throws at us. You deserve better than that worthless woman. You really do. You will feel that way too once you heal a bit. Let her suffer with her poor choices, and know she and her ex will fail again. And she'll move on to ruin someone else's life. Just be prepared for the BS she will try and pull on you. Just be strong and don't fall for it. She went right to gaslighting you right out of the gate, not a good sign at all. She isn't a safe partner for you, or anyone else for that matter. You will however find someone that is sooner or later. You called off work to surprise her with cuddles and snacks in the middle of the night. Oh my god, you're so precious. If my boyfriend was thoughtful and cute like that, I'd never even think of my ex again. Her loss. Yeah, she had said earlier she had a migraine and a rough day and missed me. I have been trying to show her I love her and am ready to open up and work towards a forever life. Now I really just don't want to be here. Don't say that just because she didn't appreciate you. Take this time to work on loving yourself. You have much to offer. Really sorry that happened to you. Not all people are cringe like that. Don't close your heart. Know that something better is down the road, and this was just the universe way of not allowing you to waste time here with this particular person. Never feels like it in the moment, but heartbreak fades. You're still really young and will have many opportunities. In my opinion, doors closing so obviously is a blessing. Imagine how long this could have gone on behind your back before they decided to give it another go, and then you get kicked to the curb with no explanation, wondering if it was something you did. Hard to believe, but you're so much better off. I agree with everything you say. I know it should fade, and it was good I saw this early, but like damn, this thing hurts. Hey there, it's your boy Foxy, back for more relationship stories. Update. My wife, 27 female, is going on a work trip with an ex-friend with benefits, and I, 28 male, find it concerning. Original post. My wife and I have been together 4 years and married for 2 years. She works in an international consulting group, which means she's usually out of the country at least a week or two every couple of months. I don't mind since I like having some alone time and playing video games or whatnot. She told me early on in our relationship that right before we started dating, she had a fling with her then boss. She kind of regretted it, but he moved apartments for unrelated reasons. I know she didn't have to tell me this, but me being curious asked more questions, and she told me that hooked up on a couple work trips and in the office. She was 22 at the time, and now she realized how dumb it could have been, but according to her it was fully consensual. Now 5 years later, her new boss retired and her previous FWB boss took over. I asked her how she felt knowing what took place, and she didn't seem concerned. They have good working relationship, she told me, and what happened was a long time ago. About 2 weeks ago, she tells me she is going to the Philippines with him potentially, because a project there is behind schedule. They will fly there with a team of their co-workers to sort things out and be back in a few days. I feel a little on edge, but there is not really much to be suspicious about, so I just trust her. She has been nothing but upfront and honest in our relationship. Now a week out, she tells me the plans have kind of changed. It's just her and him going together as the other people had obligations, and it's now going to be longer than a few days, and she told me he asked her if she wanted to stay an extra day to go snorkeling. I freeze for that moment and completely agree to it. I don't think she posed it as a question either. Only after this conversation do I think of what she actually said. Now I'm worried after I started thinking about their past, and how they will be in a tropical location together, and drinking, as well as even snorkeling. I feel jealous and insecure, and almost want to ask if she would consider staying home. On the other hand, during 4 years of being with her, she's never given me any reason to not trust her. She's even been very honest about this trip. I feel like I should let her go and trust her. I don't want to be the jealous husband who's trying to prevent her from cheating and messing with her career. If she really wants to cheat, she can anyway, no matter if I try to stop it. Is this thinking off base, or should I confront her now? Now for the top advice before reading the update. The snorkeling and anything non-work related is a huge no-no. Bad idea. Bad idea. I honestly can't believe she would even plan to do something like that given the history. It's inconsiderate and disrespectful to the marriage. Complete disregard of OP's feelings. Of course I would be on edge. What does snorkeling have to do with a business trip anyway? It's worse if she didn't even ask OP if he would be okay with it. In fact, I would never even have the audacity to think about doing something like that, and then ask in the first place. It's suspicious. OP should definitely put his foot down and let her know this is not okay. Sounds like a lot of trickle truth to me. Update us when she tells you that due to a booking error, they have to share a room. Right. Then nothing happened. Followed by, well, there was just a kiss, but I shut him down. Then finally, yes, we hooked up. Wow, look at that. With only 1 week to go, suddenly the rest of the team have last-minute obligations and can't go. It will now only be your wife's boss and the woman he used to bang in Southeast Asia on a work trip. Call me paranoid, but this sounds orchestrated. Your relationship is a Boeing 747 headed for the mountains. The warning pull-up has started sounding. Pull-up OP. I 100% believe that this was actually the case. This has happened before with her trips and is common in this industry. It just so happens it was with him that it happened with, as suspicious as it sounds. And now for the update. So the update everyone didn't want, including me. She cheated on the trip. When I wrote the post, she had already went to the West Coast to spend time with her family before continuing on to her work trip, so I really didn't have time to talk to her about it again. I decided to let her make her own decisions and live with whatever she chose to do. She went, texted me like normal, acted like normal, said she loved me, called me. Obviously I'm worried, but I decided to just trust her. She came back and acted completely normal, actually more loving and caring than she usually was. Seemed happier, to be honest. A couple weeks go by and I am messing around on her phone, looking at all her photos including from her trip. I'm not even thinking of snooping as she's right next to me. I joke around and click on recently deleted, and she freaks out and grabs the phone from me. I immediately get suspicious. She is obviously trying to hide the phone, but she said it's her private phone. I say I need to see the phone now. She starts crying and saying no. Arguing goes on for a while. It's exhausting and so hard. I already know what happened, but now she's trying to trickle truth it and saying something about a photo on her phone that was an accident, which makes zero sense. I stay firm and say I need to see the phone. After probably an hour or two of arguing, she finally hands me the phone and unlocks the recently deleted photos. Tons of nude photos of her, obviously taken by him in bed, and in comprising positions, even some including him and her in bed naked, including a couple intimate acts. I couldn't even believe what I was seeing when I saw her like that. She's crying very hard, saying it was all a mistake and it means nothing. I asked for the full truth eventually. She told me some BS story where it seems like a drunken mistake. This angered me even more, as it's obvious that wasn't the case. To me it looks like this was a full-blown affair. How would you have this on your phone from a one-night stand? The stories keep changing, classic trickle truth. Even bringing up how I joked about an open relationship at one point. How it means nothing, and she was having a midlife crisis. How she felt I wasn't interested in being intimate, and this was just something to get off on attention, and it didn't mean anything, etc., etc. She was unable to actually give me an honest account of what happened. This is despite me actually having a slight desire of wanting to forgive her. All I wanted was full honesty, and she can't do it. I think probably because she knows full honesty would be unforgivable. I decided to stay with some family in the meantime. She keeps blowing up my phone and wants to try counseling, but I am pretty sure this is the end. Don't know if I need a lawyer as she is very wealthy and I have nothing. Don't want anything from her, so that's where I am at now. I can't believe how this stuff is possible. Even though you could fully trust someone, they can have the capability to lie straight to your face. If I didn't see her phone, I think I would have never known, or if she was smart enough to actually permanently delete her photos with her boss. I'm sorry, man, that sucks. And you're right that none of us wanted this update. I freaking hate it when cheaters say it meant nothing. So, breaking your vows meant nothing. You threw away your marriage for nothing. Well, screw you. And a one-time fling by a partner who feels remorse, and who confesses right away, and who is apparently truthful. Maybe I could forgive that. But long-term dishonesty is a deal-breaker for me. Anyways, my crap doesn't have to be your crap, so I hope that however things go for you OP, they end up with you being happy. Think she can't be honest because it wasn't a one-time stupid mistake. That's what I'm working with. As a corporate guy, I think she is withholding the real story because it may involve her boss and her mischarging their time and expenses to the company. If the Philippines trip was real, maybe it was for a day or two less than they claimed they needed to be there for. Of course, the real reason for the extra days was for them to bang their brains out. But if she told you that, you could trigger a career-crushing investigation for both of them. Her veracity is crap, so anything is possible here. This was a planned bangfist, just the two of them as you saw. You said that she traveled often for work. I guess the questions involve whether this was typical behavior by her over the years, probably with management as she is ambitious. Sorry you've been played, she's almost as smart as she thinks she is. Why does she want to stay married? Like really, why? What would she get out of it? I have no clue. I asked her the same thing. She is just begging to stay married and work on things. She had the chance to work on things already, she could have not gone. She did so anyway. She did things anyway. She decided she didn't want to work on things with you already. Sorry for your loss. Move on, my dude. Take everything. Get a good lawyer. I wouldn't do that. I'm mad, but I don't want her stuff. Be grateful you know what she's like. Feel the pain. Allow yourself time to heal. Move on. There are heaps of wonderful women who will not cheat on you. You should see a lawyer though. Don't walk away with what isn't fair. Best thing you can do is not draw it out. Be fair and negotiate in good faith. You'll be okay. Next story. Updated and moving forward. So, this is what happened. I found out almost 6 months to the day that my wife/best friend had been cheating me on for almost 3 years. We have been together for 18 years. In the last 18 years, I have never dreamed about wanting any women other than her, and I thought the feelings were mutual. The past 3 years she became distant, secretive, on her phone constantly in a separate room. I would constantly ask her, "Is everything okay?" Her reply was always, "Yes, why do you ask?" Then about a year ago, she would start asking me, "Are you seeing someone else?" I was floored that she would even ask me that question. I have always been an open book. I've never had a social account like Facebook, or any social account to speak of, and my cell phone was always an open book for her. She even had the password to unlock it, all my email account login and passwords, etc. Then on the morning of Saturday, June 25, 2022, we were sitting on the sofa drinking coffee. She was being distant, and I asked her, "Who are you seeing?" She broke down and told me she had been seeing a contract worker for the past 2.5 years. I asked her who, and she told me. He was 10 years younger than her, married with 4 kids. I broke down. I was devastated. My life was and still is shattered. All respect and trust for the past 18 years died that day. I was the kind of husband that never had a bad thing to say to my wife in front of her or behind her back. I always encouraged her in any endeavor she attempted. I told her many times how beautiful, intelligent she was, and how much I truly loved her. I tried to show her love in the simplest ways, holding hands alone and in public. I always felt like she had my back no matter what, and she knew I had her back. Now I feel like I have just wasted 18 years of my life. I feel like for the past 18 years, whenever I kissed her at the door while leaving for work and she told me she loved me, it was a lie. She has been very remorseful. She has broken down on various occasions in the past 6 months, still begging for forgiveness. She has cut off all contact with the guy, deleted all social media apps, even called him up in front of me on speakerphone, telling him it was over and to never contact her again, or else she or I would be contacting his wife, letting her know what a lowlife he also is. She even gave me all logins and passwords to all her accounts, email, other apps, bank accounts, and credit cards. She told me she made the biggest mistake in her life by carrying on an affair, and that losing me would devastate her life forever. My problem is, I can't accept her apology. I do not trust her, and I still consider her a liar. I know it's only been 6 months, but I still feel the same. I honestly don't know if I can ever trust her again the way I feel now. I feel useless as a man. I've lost my self-respect as a person, and it hurts so much to even think about what she has done to me. When we are alone, I see them two together all the time. I felt the best course of action is to move on, even though I still love her. And as of the time I'm posting this, I did inform the affair partner's wife about everything that transpired between him and my wife. I supplied her with dates and hotel receipts my wife provided. She has since booted his butt out the door and is in the process of filing for a divorce. As for me, I am also in the process of filing for divorce. I have decided for my mental well-being that divorce was the only option left for me. Knowing that I will be cutting all legal ties with my spouse has helped me heal mentally on a large scale. I know now that there is nothing wrong with me, and I did nothing to deserve this type of betrayal. I am happy knowing I will be moving on with my life. Great update. Sometimes cheating is just a deal breaker. Any cheating is hard to deal with. 2.5 years is a long time and moves it toward the top of the scale. It is much better to make the decision now, as opposed to 5 years down the road after a failed reconciliation attempt. Your progress in healing and feelings at this point are a clear indication that you made the right decision for you. Good luck. Thanks. Advice I've received on Reddit has helped me so much in dealing with everything that has happened in the last 6 months. I know I am making the right decision moving on. You did the right thing, buddy, because it will eat away at you like acid. I am really sorry that you were in a sham marriage, and sadly, many are like that now. 3 years is a whole other relationship that she was in. Know that we have your back always. So glad you are moving on without a liar and a cheater. In my opinion, there's so coming back from this. For someone to pull off that level of deception, it's completely sociopathic. The good thing is that decent, loyal people like us are in high demand, just have to navigate through the liars and cheaters. And maybe one day, we will be in a relationship with mutual real love and respect. Here's to happier and brighter days ahead, my friend. Thanks. I know moving on will be hard, because I will be more judgmental when I do meet someone. I guess being battle scared does that to you. If I do find someone, it will be a plus. Last story. Telling my wife to expect to hear from my lawyer has lifted such a weight. D-Day was approximately 2 months ago. Since then, I have been couch surfing, spending time at my parents', and a few days in our house together, all trying to debate my best path forward here. Unfortunately, in my state, you cannot file for divorce until you are married for 6 months, so I had over a month of just waiting it out, although she had no idea I was talking to lawyers. I was given the option to have my lawyer blindly email her, or to tell her on my own. At the end of the day, I did not want to hide behind my lawyer and wanted to tell her myself the game was over. So I did. I told her I don't trust her. That ever since that day, I have not been able to look at her the same. That I don't feel the same way about her now as I did before this all came out. That I don't see us having kids and raising a family together. That I don't see us growing old and being happy together. She immediately asks, what does all that mean? Me, that I'm done. I can't do this any longer. My lawyer will be contacting you tomorrow. I was dreading actually telling her for so long. I would teeter-totter back and forth endlessly. One day I'm furious and know it'll never work. The next day she is nice, and I feel horrible that I want to take everything from her. But in the end, I am not taking away anything. She chose to give it all up. She just didn't expect to get caught. I'm just here to tell you that you can do it too. You don't deserve to be treated like this. I know it's scary and you are unsure what to do, but you need to do what is right for you, and you only. If you are here, your spouse or loved one has already disregarded your feelings. I am not saying whether to leave or stay, but I am saying whatever you decide to do, please make sure the decision is solely for you. Wait, you haven't even been married 6 months, and she couldn't not cheat. Brother, if I had known a few months into marriage that my ex-wife was cheating on me, which she was, I'd have gone for an annulment. Look into that. Sorry that you are going through this. Stay strong. Thanks. We are but unfortunately in my state that we need proof of adultery before the marriage. It's dumb here. Well, maybe you could ask her if she was cheating before you were married, so you could both avoid the divorce and just get an annulment. If you write it nicely enough, who knows? What does she have to lose anyway? You're getting divorced. Maybe an annulment would be better. I know the feeling. My soon-to-be ex thought she was pulling a fast one, but she didn't, as I knew about her affair. She was playing it off as losing the spark or growing apart, but I had proof of her betrayal. I got my ducks in a row, confronted her, and when she darn near screamed at me and called me a controlling jerk for telling her to cut off contact with a fair partner, I told her she would be expecting an email from my lawyer, and I filed. She stopped immediately and burst into tears. I wish I recorded that moment. Good luck, man. Same. I was slowly piecing it together for a long time before confronting her. Instead of the spark not being there, I got the "my needs weren't being met" speech. Same playbook though.